this is how far we've progressed since beginning of June. Beginning of June I laid the first 10 yards, this one. First 10 yards, beginning of June. Pretty much the 1st of June. Wheelbarrowed it from the mound that is here. Mushroom compost from the local mushroom farm. We're very lucky with that. And as you can see, we're pretty normal. The view in and of itself, yeah, possible, isn't it? Man, look at this place. What a place. Real cows sitting down, big black clouds everywhere. Right, it's the end of October. So in the time since it's been laid down, the other editions went in July, and the empty row you can see down there went in last week, so that's the end of October. And thus far, these no-dig beds have been a rip-roaring success. They have been so abundant, so giving, that the kitchen has been able to use on a daily basis. And that's also taken into account that when I first laid them out, and for the next, it was 2 or 3 months, wasn't it? There was no rain, not a drop. Oh, look at that, beautiful child. Looking good, looking very, very nice. As you can see, there's little bits dotted here and there. The reason being that if there's a gap, why not use it? Yes, some of the planting, I grant you, is a little haphazard, and that's purely down to the fact that this is the first time that I've been doing this no-dig method, and frankly, I just wanted to see what happened. So, got a space, chuck it in. Man, it coped. So, for instance, here, bit of bronze fennel, bit of lovage, celery leaf, actual celery stalk here, callaloo, we've got leeks, radish, we've got the black kale, we've got Corsican chives, more kale. The kale does feature quite heavily at this time of year. And over here we've got calabrese, we've got cabbage, what's got radicchio, some chicory, can't remember, but it's lettuce. There's Swedes, more calabrese. Here we have this is spinach, more radish, leeks in there as well, cabbage, orange marigold. These are colettes. They are colettes, believe me, they really are. There's no colette-y stuff going on, but the young leaves are a very, very edible little piece of kit. So off come the leaves in the kitchen, wallop. There's some perpetual spinach gone in here now. There's some more lovage at this end, which has had a good old cut. Here we have curly kale. There's some little bits of mustard that are hanging on there. Some shiso. These are dwarfs, and I'm keeping those for seed. Here, leeks, physalis, hole there with more physalis to come up. It not really performed well, unfortunately, that physalis. This is the pineapple physalis. The pineapple physalis has just done beautifully well. More orange marigold, which again is now starting to flower, so that'll set seeds, so I'll save the seeds and use those. Kale. Do love a bit of kale. Chard. Kale. More kale. So as you see, there's starting to get a little bit of uniformity in the newer beds. So rather than just sort of chuck anything everywhere, we're going to get some uniformity. So this was all squashes. Man, the squashes did well. Flipping golly gosh, they did so well. Here we can see the cabbages are setting. They're starting to form heads there. So yeah, my overall impression, having initially bellyaches at the fact that I can't use my lovely old tools, and I do love my old tools. Bit of anise hyssop here, by the way, some Welsh onion. Anise hyssop, oh come on, you've got to grow this. Bee disco, absolute throughout the summer. Bees, bees. Love it. So this was all squash, and squash did ever so well. They've come up now, obviously, and so at the end there's some white broccoli, there's some peas, cow, lovely cabbage, very nice. Hopefully the spacing won't, well, the spacing will affect it, but I'll look at that for next year's plan. There's a little gap here. Got something in the polytunnel to come out for that. There's some spring cabbage doing very, very well. Some collies, just taking a little while. Had some purple collies up there. Oh, they were so funky. Very, very pleasing to the eye. Now this is the only thing really that has been a constant for me, is picking out the dandelions. Now these things, I mean, most things will survive us, won't they? When we finally blow ourselves up. These, if they ever get legs and opposable thumbs, they're going to rule the world. So, I'll deal with that in a little while. So this is the new bed. The new bed I laid out last week. As you can see, simplicity itself. Cardboard, muck. The soil, or the ground, that's what we lay it upon. Just cut the grass. This is, as you can see, this is a field. Well, duh. But what I mean by that is that the field itself has not been touched. It was cut last year. And other than what I've done with pushing my mower around, the occasional strimmer, the field hasn't been touched, so it's got to be cut, because dandelions love this field. Well, dandelions love every field. So this is going to be cut at some point. But other than that, this is what I'm saying. From that, we've got this, and that's the simplicity of this process. It struck me before I undertook this, I wasn't sure. Like I say, I love my tools, love digging, really like turning the soil over, not least because you can find some funky things in old ground like this. But this method, yeah, it's taking some wheelbarrowing. Come on, I'm a fat old man, I need that exercise. This is fabulous. It's so giving, it's so prolific, and it almost immediate. It wasn't long since I laid this down that we started cropping. It just was something else. And as you can see, because this is spent mushroom compost, we do have the little cheeky mushrooms coming through, but no, I'm fine with those. I'll pick those and they'll go on the staff menu. They'll go for the chefs, they'll eat those. So this has been a thrill. So it's very green now, as you can see, apart from the beautiful splashes of colour from the kale stalks. But the summer, the dry, testing, trying summer produced such an abundance. Let's have a wander off down to the polytunnel and see what's waiting for us. And there's my lovely compost bins, and they're going to come into play for next season. So this is the garden that hasn't up here. There have been a little. Look at those cardoons. I moved those earlier this year, and they took a while. I think they're quite happy there. So up here. And it is untidy. I'm a dreadfully untidy gardener. Got to get the nasturtiums in because there's going to be a bit of a frost this weekend. So up here we've got a little bit of a no-dig, and this is going to be turned over pretty much to these raspberries. And this is this Japanese wineberry. Wow! First season in, first couple of months, it was only up to your ankles. And then it just burst into life and gave fruit for months. And very lovely little fruit, lovely little tangy, bright red little monkeys. They were fabulous little things. The nasturtiums are coming up. The fruit cage needs to be turned inside out. So this no dig. This has been a bit of a but not neglected, that's the wrong, but how I haven't had, all we've done here is let the mustard, which self-seeded, and the mint that self-seeded, the violas that self-seeded, left them. Very happy. Mustard gets picked, mint get picked, violas get picked, so left them. Self-seeded sunflower, no one wants to dig a sunflower up. Angelica, this stuff, that was self-seeded. I've just not got around to it, but that's coming up. The artichokes, I thought I'd cleared that bed, but you never really can you, with artichokes, so left them. This was the pollinating border. This is the pollinating border. It's very tired because the summer has really come to an end now. And this acacia, it's going to be one of my favourites. I do like acacias. They'll have a last pick on that, I think, and then take things like this, which I can then harvest the seed from, and that's all next year's seed sorted for the acacias. But just acacias are a really good plant for a late season crop of very, very crunchy, incredibly tasty little fruits. There they are, like cucumbers, or like someone said to me, they taste like my greenhouse, which is nice. Right, this area down here has been, again, this is not a no dig. This is where I opened this up last year as a bed. Opened this bed up, put courgettes and beans in it. The beans obviously have come down a while back, and they did fantastically well. There's some crones, some Chinese artichokes there. The rest of it needs a weed. This little bed, again, this little raised no dig. Oh, it's such a thrilling sight. Such a thrilling sight. Oh, thank you. Look at that. And there's more. And there's more. Yep. So they're battling the raspberries at the moment. So we know what to do with this. I think this will be a soft fruit. All this wonderful spinach, this cut and come again, this great perpetual spinach has done, well, it's just done superbly well. This little, I think it's a Mizuna, this little mustard self-seeded, this is none more examples of how messy I am. However, did very well. I've got to have quick shifties over here. This is the view out of the back of the office. Let's have a quick shifties in the polytunnel. See what's coming through. And just to give you an idea of what is going on in here, and if the temperature, yeah, it's a little milder, quite nice. So in here, lots of lettuce, more shiso. This is all the mushroom compost, the same mushroom compost that has been used for the no dig, but rather than break the soil in here, bring the compost down here, use the compost to plant green leaves that hopefully keep going over winter. So here we've got a lot of lettuce interplanted with mustard. We've got chard. That's not chard, you knobhead, is it? Yes, it is. It's rainbow. Chard. We've got this black kale interplanted with radishes, mustards. Got a whole host of things here. More kale. We've got some things. These I'm interested in. It's called heading mustard. Never heard of that, but we're going to find out what it does. Radishes are coming along. There's a lot of stuff. So a lot of little bits and bobs. There's more. What have we got there? Green stuff. Yeah, right. Again, lettuce. This is a little holding area, so things are going to come in. Things that have come in, rather than them being messy outside, in here, just waiting for me to pot them on. This is a Szechuan pepper tree, and whilst it hasn't done a great deal other than grow this year, I think we'll leave that to the spring, cut it off, and hopefully then that will help it to fruit next year. Here again, this is a tamarillo, not a tomatillo, but a tamarillo. It's called a tomato tree, and whilst it hasn't fruited in the last year and a half, it just is the most pleasing thing. It is so pleasing. It's such a delight. I'm overwhelmed every time I see this. So we've got more spinach, more leaf. The vines, got to find a place for them to go. Lemongrass. That hopefully will last the winter and be all good to go on the plate next spring. There is ginger, taking a while, but that will be harvested at some point. I love growing ginger. Such a thrill. But it's quite interesting what we've got here. So it's just representative of different corners of the world, different climatic conditions that they were found in and brought over, and they're doing so well here. Polytunnel helps. What we've got here? Landcress, we've got winter lettuce, we've got some more Chinese cabbage. Looking forward to those. Nothing really showing in these seeds, but these were only sown last week, so I wouldn't expect that at this time of year, although I am so eager and so optimistic. So this is all the micro herbs that are going to be scissored off and put on the plate. There's some chervil that really does need to be potted on. There's, oh great, the coriander's coming on. Oh man, come on, look at that. Wonderful. So this is the last season's seeds, and a lot of seed that I've saved from last season has come good. This is the Chinese cabbage. They did take a bit of a... someone had a bit of a munch on these earlier, but some of them are strengthening up. So I'll give them a bit of a go, and they'll go in. So as you can see, that new row in the no dig has got there's lots of little things eager, lining up they are. Who's done that? And why is that? Look, that's leapt. That has leapt from its little seed tray and has tried. It's making its way down to see its child mates, isn't it? Right, so there's the polytunnel. So there's the little production line. So it's going to come all the way off to the no dig. Right, better get on with some work. So, as introductions go, that was probably a little overlong, but as things continue, as the no dig expands and takes on larger shape, larger form, and more area to plant stuff, I'm so looking forward to the seasons ahead and hoping it can replicate the success it has had thus far.